Hey, if you can hear me, wave to me so I know you can hear me. Fantastic. Thank you so much for your patience. All right, well, this is Monday, March the 7th, and this is the weekly Team Panacea call. We meet here at 8:30 Central every Monday night to share tips and ideas with you, give you some motivation for the upcoming week, let you know what's going on with the team. And I'm not going to get that page advanced, so fantastic. Yeah, I am. Alrighty, wanted to let you know that Summit is on the horizon. It is not too late for you to get a piece of that pie. Get yourself on the waiting list if you're not already registered. You can do that online, and if you're not sure how that works, check with your upline or with your upline's upline to find out more about Summit. It's where the winners will be, and when you're at Summit, you can expect to have, besides a fantastic time, you'll learn a lot of things, and you'll have an opportunity to attend training workshops with some of the finest coaches in the country in the trench talks, where they'll tell you things that they've tried and what went well for them and maybe what didn't go so well that you could plug in to learn from for your business success. You'll have a chance to work out with celebrity trainers while you're there, and year after year, go again and again and again. The more times you go, the more successful your business will be. Also coming up is the Punta Cana Success Club trip for 2017. Currently it is sold out, but get your name on the list, because some coaches will change their minds, some coaches might not qualify, some coaches will leave the business, but not you. You're going to succeed. Get yourself on the list and be there for the trip. It's part of the Cool Kids Club. You don't want to miss it. You can register online for that, and you will have a fantastic time to learn and share in a relaxed atmosphere. And when you do something like this, it shows other people who are watching you one of the benefits of coaching. Super Saturday is coming up April 2nd. There is probably one in your area. Check in the online office under events, and if you don't see one there, then host one yourself. It's a terrific opportunity for you to learn about the new things that the national office wants you to know about, upcoming products and about upcoming events and ways for you to succeed in your business and network with other coaches. It might just be you and 3 other people in your basement the first time if there's not one near you. But you might be fortunate enough to live in an area where there's one where thousands of coaches gather too. So get yourself there somehow, some way. I'm Kim Bickle, and I have been a Beachbody coach for about 5 years now. I'm a Diamond Coach, Success Club All-Star Legend, 52 consecutive months in Success Club. I can't recommend Success Club highly enough. It's the way you get free customers from Team Beachbody. It's literally been the foundation of my business. So tonight on the call, if you have questions, don't be shy about putting those in the chat. But I will tell you that I often miss things that are in the chat. So if you are a leader on this call, I'm going to ask you to step up and watch what's going on with the chat so that you can answer questions that people might have, because I very often miss those in the chat and I want to make sure that people have those questions addressed. Near the end of the call, I'll have an opportunity where we'll all unmute and you can tell me whatever questions you have, or during the call, something comes up that you just can't wait till the end, then unmute yourself and interrupt me. We'll get you taken care of. So I wanted to share with you tonight some things about the leader retreat that we had at Kodi and Chris Reed's home just a week ago. The top takeaways from the trip. So the trip was hosted at the Reed Resort, and if you're not on their preferred guest list, I highly recommend it. We were given the royal treatment where we had 24-hour access to the Shakeology buffet, and we were gifted with massages while we were there. It was a fantastic, relaxing, and wonderful time. We had an opportunity to share a meal with Jimmy Hayes Nelson. Jimmy is from the Insanity videos, and he is an elite coach with Team Beachbody, and he shared with us from his experience, and then I'm going to tell you some of the things that he shared with us. One of the things that Jimmy said when we met with him is that he doesn't tell people, hey, I'm a Beachbody coach, just right off the get-go. They're getting to be more and more and more coaches, and not all of them operate with fantastic business practices. Some of them are a little on the spammy side. I hope nobody on our team is using that kind of practice, but let's be real, there are some people doing that. So he has stopped leading with, I'm a Beachbody coach, and he simply shares that he has a residual business that allows him to travel. And then people who are curious can ask him more about it. One of the things that he shared with us is the importance of sharing your struggle publicly. If you're trying really hard to be perfect online with everything you're showing, that's unrelatable for people, and they'll just think, I could never be like that, so I'm not even gonna interact with you because that seems so far above anything I could achieve. But when you share your struggles and they see that you're a real and regular person, they'll better relate to that. He shared with us too a technique that he uses to increase business and to increase success with the coaches that he started. And he said, instead of encouraging just a challenge pack, I encourage the Kickstart challenge pack for every coach I sign, he said. And what he says to them is, when you start with a Kickstart package, you get the fastest possible results right out of the gate. And when you get that, you can very quickly have a success story to share with people that you're trying to help. So that helps his coaches become successful right away. So sharing more about what Jimmy told us when we met with him is that it's not at all unusual for you to post something about your business and nobody likes it. And you're thinking, oh, I post a picture of my cat and 11 to 12 people will click that they like my cat and comment, isn't that sweet and wonderful and all this kind of stuff. Nobody likes your business post. That's completely normal. Only a few will like your business post. And it just means that some of those other people aren't at the right place where they're interested in that yet. But people like what they can relate to. So post about your life, post about things that are going on with you, and talk to the people who liked your cat. Instead of being annoyed that they didn't like your business post, interact with the people who are visiting your page for other reasons. So you're building those relationships and building those friendships and interacting with folks. Then when they're ready for fitness or they're ready to start a business, they can come to you. So if you are a runner, put your hands up if you're a runner, okay. He gave us this analogy: the longer you walk, the harder it is to start running again. So if you've been a coach for very long, you've probably had times when you kind of slow down a little bit. And he likened that to a running scenario. If you start to slow down a little bit, the longer you stay in slow motion, the harder it is to start going with a lot of momentum again. So he encouraged us to identify what it is that's stopping you, and then you can decide what to do about that. And he just asked real pointedly several people at the table, what is it that stops you? What is it that when you're in your power mode and you're cranking out all this stuff and then all of a sudden you hesitate because, what's the because? Take a look at it and find out what it is and learn how to fix it. Make up a success plan for how you will avoid that slowdown the next time. He also encouraged us to stay in different modes. It's not unusual for a person to be working and they're jumping around from task to task to task. And I'm going to do a video, and then I'm going to email all the customers, and then I'm going to contact my new people, and then I'm going to make some phone calls, and then I'm going to whatever else it is. And instead of doing a little bit of everything every day, to take large chunks of time to do certain things. So like for me, that might be, I was going to make some videos for my business. And instead of trying to do one video every day, if I've got the office cleaned up and the camera ready and the lights on where I want them for a video, do several videos while you're in that creative mode. Or if you decide that you're going to text customers, spend a chunk of time doing that so that you're not losing a lot of time flipping in and out of creative and task modes and switching gears between tasks. And that's something that can plug in for you to be successful. This was a huge takeaway for me that he shared, and it makes complete sense. He said, starting a new person is way more effective than reviving the dead. So if you've got a team of coaches you're working with and they're not progressing the way you're hoping they will, instead of driving yourself batty over what somebody is not doing, look for more people. He said that his goal is to find 5 people every single day who've never met him or never heard of him before, and he does that through social media. So during this leader retreat that we had, there was also an opportunity for us to meet with Mindy Lawhorn. Mindy is from the Turbo Jam videos. She's also in PIO, and she's in some other things too. A very successful coach and a delightful lady, just down to earth and friendly, sweetheart girl. She shared several things with our team that could help you in your business, and I'll share those with you here. She said to be sure and set your work hours. She said, for the sake of your family, for the sake of your spouse, set your work hours. And then set some non-work hours. So you'll have some flexible time. One day when the kids are all playing outside and you've got some free time and you want to go, yeah, I'm going to work the business a little bit. Great, do it. But for the most part, have some hours set that you're going to do it and some hours set that you won't, so that you're honoring your family and your spouse and you're living a life that's balanced. You want to make sure that you're not always only doing that to the detriment of your family, working too much. At the same time, you don't want to always only not work, and then you're never getting any business success. But she shared with us that when she set hours and she honored them and stuck to them, that her business never suffered a bit, that she didn't see any decrease when she honored the hours she had set and just stuck to them firmly. So she encouraged us to look and find the things that you are about. She said 3, 4, 5 things that you're really about, and post about those regularly so people grow to expect certain things from you. It's different things for different people. For me, it's travel. It's my fingernails. I have a lot of pictures with my hands in them. I travel with my little gnome guy. I like to do collages of Bible verses. I'd like to do things about fitness, and I talk about my grand doggy. Find a few things that are you that people relate to and post about those regularly. She encouraged us to find out the things you need to know. Google everything that you either want to know or need to know, figure it out and plug it in so it helps you. So it might be about, you might need to do a Google search about the best time to put out a post. Or it could be different for different media. Make sure that you understand the media you're using and that you're properly plugging in to get the best benefit from that. Know your audience and know your media. Do the research that's required to succeed in that area, whatever it is. Attending live events is very important, she shared with us. Whether that's the summit or the Success Club trip or a Super Saturday, be out and be seen with people and post about that so that others can see what it is you're doing and be attracted to it, we hope. Okay, let's see if there was anything else I wanted to be sure. Okay, talk to people daily about things that are not Beachbody. so that you aren't always only all fitness, all Shakeology, all workouts, and nothing else. You want to be a person who has different areas in your life and different interests so that you're real. You're not just a billboard for Beachbody. People relate to people with regular lives. Be heavy on the recognition is something that she encouraged for us. Somebody sold their first challenge pack, or somebody makes Success Club, or somebody lost 10 pounds. I do that through the people in my challenge group, not just my coaches, but also my customers. When they give me permission, I'm careful to check on that. But Leroy lost 35 pounds this week. And if Leroy gives me permission, then I'll post a picture of him saying, congratulations, Leroy, on your 35-pound loss. You can congratulate him too with your comments below or whatever. And people will pop in and comment on that. And if Leroy is interested in coaching, these are his potential customers. If he's not interested in coaching, then these are people I might reach out to. But it's recognition for Leroy, and it's growth for business. So not just on weight loss, but on any kind of achievement that a person has had. It can be business success, or it could be so-and-so did their first chin-up unassisted, or whatever it is, but that you're congratulating them, recognizing them. Certainly on your group page, and if they give you permission publicly as well. Mindy also talked with us about using your time carefully. And she said, you may find yourself doing the same thing with coaches you're trying to train or with customers you're working with again and again and again. And she said, if there's anything you've done 3 times, make a video. And you can then use that video as training for future people, so you're not using your time to repeat the same lesson. So if you have questions, please feel free to put those in the chat. I am not seeing the chat right now, and I may be able to get to it later, but I'm not seeing the chat. But I know some of the leaders are seeing the chat. Type in questions if you have them, or unmute yourself. We're winding it up here, and feel free to unmute and just shout out to me and say, hey, Kim, what about this or that?
Hey, Kim, thank you for doing the call tonight. I really appreciate you stepping up and taking over. And I really, looking back at the slides, man, I had no idea we had so much fun. I think as hostess, you know, you're just kind of going around hoping that everything's going well. But looking back at that, that was a pretty good time. Thank you so much for recapping it for everybody.
Sure. Well, you're welcome. It was a delight to be there. Kodi, you're the hostess with the mostest, so it was a pleasure to be in your company.
Well, thank you. Mara had a question here. It says, I am still a fairly new coach. I work full-time. Have difficult time setting hours. How do you go about doing that? Kim, you have a full-time job. Why don't you go ahead and...
Yeah. What works for me might be different than for you, but what works for me is to set a period of time in the evening that I'm going to work and what that looks like. Very typically, after my evening meal and clean up at that, I'll have a window of about an hour that I work. And then I have a half-hour window where I do some family stuff and I stop work and I take a break and talk with my husband. And we watch Jeopardy. That's what we do. And then when that's over, I go back to work again, and I work from maybe 8 to 9:30 or 10 in there. And that works for my schedule. But you need to find out what's going to work for your schedule. It might be different than that. Some people will get up extra early in the morning and spend an hour planning posts and sending emails and that kind of thing. Yeah, I work full-time too. So there are days when it's tricky, and there are days when you're going to have to flex because you've got such and such meeting, you know, that you're going to need to attend. And so there's got to be some flexibility to it some days too. I don't know if that helps you any or tells you what you want to know.
Thank you. And I'm going to add to that because I know Myra's, she has, you know, Kim, your children are grown and off to college and married, and Myra has a 10-year-old and a baby. And so I understand that sometimes her schedule is going to be different. I mean, but Myra, I've done this business with 3 kids. I had twins, and I did this business, and I had a full-time job. It's just setting those times. You spend time with the boys when they're awake, and as soon as you put them to bed, maybe you don't go watch Jeopardy with Braden. You say, hey, Braden, I'm going to work my business for this little bit amount of time, and then I want to spend time with you. Chris and I will set our time like that. I mean, he does his thing, I do my thing. The kids go to bed at 8:30, one goes to bed at 10, and about 11 o'clock is when we say, okay, you ready to watch Blue Bloods? And we watch an episode, and then that's it. And getting up early, it's not my cup of tea, but I think that you're able to do it. I think you like getting up early. I know that you have been doing well with your workouts, and you've shown a wonderful transformation, showing people what having a baby, 7-8 months ago, and how you look now. You look fantastic. And I think that, your market is definitely new moms and working full-time moms, and you just got to share your story with that. And, you're starting a new job. So you definitely have the credentials to show that this business and these programs work for you. Okay. So, I don't know what he said, but, yes, you can absolutely do this. Maybe doing the work. Brooke's got something to say, but I can't read those. You want to say something?
So, I'll add on top of that is it's about setting non-negotiables, right? And as far as like, if you signed up as a coach and your day looks just like it did before you signed up as a coach, then you're doing it wrong, right? There has to be something that you're putting into this business, and there has to be something that you're like, oh, you know what? I can't go to sleep yet because I was supposed to do this. And I think that that's really important. And I think that's one of the things that so many people miss. I mean, some people, I see them on the team calls, and be honest with you, I see them on the team calls, and I was like, you guys do nothing as far as, consistently through the week to build your business. And I applaud you for being on the call, but are you listening? Because you have to be consistent on a daily basis to make this work. And and it just depends on what it is that you're interested in doing. Not everybody is looking to earn 6 figures with this business. And that's fine if that's not what you're willing to do. But if you're willing, if that's what your goal is, then you got to raise the bar, and your day has to look way different as a Beachbody coach than it did before. So, it's one of those things where, like Kim says, Kim has been in Success Club 52 months in a row or something like that. And it's just a non-negotiable. And that's why she's where she's at and still growing. And it's just important to understand that just being a coach and every now and then, doing what we say doesn't get you the results that you may decide that you want. And you guys, if you've read GoPro, they talk about, I'm going to forget it now, but it's like the poser, there's the hobby and the poser and the professional. And so, is this a hobby for you? Are you posing like you're a professional Beachbody coach, or are you a professional Beachbody coach? And and you can look at how you spend your time and how much time you put in your business each day and answer that question for yourself, because it just depends on what it is that you want. That's all I got. I'll mute myself again.
Okay. Hey, are there other questions tonight? Okay, if you have a question and you're still trying to get to me, unmute yourself and please interrupt me. But your homework assignment for today is to go to the Team Pan page and say that you were on the call tonight. Name something that you're going to do because of what you heard tonight, and tag a success partner or your sponsor or somebody on your team to be held accountable to the improvement that you're going to make and to keep people informed. And thank you so much for joining me tonight. Make it a great week. You will find a recording of this call tomorrow morning early on the Team Panacea page. And I will also make sure that it gets added to the call archives. So thanks so much for joining me, and I'll look forward to seeing you on the team page.